All right, guys.
Steve, I
Hey,
got
welcome to
pause.
our agency building call this upcoming Thursday. I'm so excited to be able to have one of my great friends with us, integrity partner. Grady, how much does your agency do? Over 100 million a year now? Smoked it?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Oh my
but
gosh, I love it. So just so you know, like large IMOs in our space do like 25, 30 million a year. Grady does over 100 million himself within FFL. Like that's amazing. So Grady is phenomenal at developing leaders. He's great at teaching agents how to get paid, move up the comp plan, all that great stuff. Grady, I appreciate you taking time out your day and being with us, man. Josh and Alondra and I, we've partnered up and built our base shop together with this. So we're excited to be able to head into 2025. I know your topic is make more money in 2025. So feel free to take it away, brother. I appreciate you.
well, Steve, I'm so honored to be on here. I looked up to you from a speaking standpoint, from a marketing standpoint as well, from our pasts that cross path in a different industry that have amazingly led us both here. I look up to you how good of a husband you are and how great a father you are and how good of a salesman you are because the fact that you got your wife to let you put a golf simulator in your living room is a testament to your ability to communicate. And that is something that only a man could recognize as a guy who knows how to at least make some promises and get the dining room table out the way so we can focus on what matters, and that's making our kids the absolute best versions of themselves. So I love that about you, bro. But
Thank you, man. I
so
appreciate you.
good to see Josh and Alondra on here and that whole entire group, just some great friends and then everybody who's new out there. I mean, for you all, I think that what gets glossed over too often is how incredible of an opportunity this is. And I did my best to try to communicate that at convention and understandings of an opportunity is a chance, right? A chance at something that we could take advantage of, right? I mean, there's opportunities in many different industries. There's opportunities that we have in our own life that we've heard of friends that did something and that opportunity didn't go well. That opportunity went great. Oh, I should have done that. Should have bought Bitcoin when it was at 9,000. I knew all about it. I was in all these, we're all getting market those Bitcoin MLMs, but I didn't understand it and didn't buy it. And now it's doing 100 grand. And, it's like 1,000x. That would have been nice, but that's opportunities. And so for all of you out there, I'm going to do my best here. And I do really love to, if there's any questions or anything specific or anything that you're struggling with that I can try to give answer to just from my, 30,000 foot view, having been around this industry for going heck on 8 years, please drop them in the chat. But this opportunity is something that you all get to capitalize on. And there's so many people that I go through my day with that that have tried it, don't get it, that have tried it, get it, that have tried it, get it, but don't give it an effort. And the big reality though is that there's nothing I've ever seen, Stephen, where you can buy interested people. Like I've been dabbling in real estate. It is hard to buy a lead of someone that wants to buy a house. It is hard to put a house on the market and hope someone wants to buy it. Those are challenges. In mortgages, you're hoping for the interest rates to drop. In our MLM space, where Steve and I and many of us have cut our teeth, you're selling $150 to $200 worth of product or a service and hoping to make a $10 commission. But then you're hoping that hundreds of people underneath you do it, and then you make like a quarter of what they do because they only pay that $10 commission out one time. But there's this opportunity that you all get to see that there's people that have made great money and there's this potential. And that's an exciting thing that comes from an opportunity. So then you look all the way back around to insurance and you see what insurance has to offer that we've got some regulation. We've got our, insurance. We've got our license. We've got, state by state regulation. You got to get approved by the carriers, which can be taunting or daunting to some people. But then you get into the world where you're like, okay, now it's me versus me. Like, how many agents have we hired that have never sold a policy? They dialed the phone 50 times. They got told no's 13, and they got their underwear in a wad and go, I don't like rejection. I'm going to go to do something else. And I get it. But then you look at what's possible for some people and what I cheer so many of you on to not just look at this thing as something that you just try. Because that's the general, if I was to take a poll, this call is probably 50% people that are doing the business and 50% people that are thinking about really doing the business. And that's generally the way these calls go. Now, the 50%, now the answer though is in about 12 months, 50% of you will have quit. And that's a sad thing to say, because you probably are sitting there going, I'm up early, I'm here, I want to get better. There's this guy that's on here going to talk about making money in the insurance space, and I'm committed to my future. But what's going to happen between today and 12 months is there's going to be doubt. There's going to be no shows. There's going to be cancellations. There's going to be chargebacks. And all those things are going to weigh on your conscience. They're going to weigh on your shoulders, and they're going to feel like an oxbow pulling you down into the sand, wanting to drag you back to the barren desert of whatever existence that we're all going through before we find that Garden of Eden that we're trying to create in our life. And that's a very stressful place to go. Now, 50% of you will survive that oxbow, and 50% of you will get dragged into the sand and die. And I just don't be the 50% that die. And it's a very, I'm trying to paint a picture here, but I'm also trying to like let you know that to make this happen, this opportunity for you, all you have to do is just keep making a decision to keep taking a step forward. Because the second you stop taking steps forward, the weight on your shoulders just pushes you down, right? Steve and I have done a lot of weighted vest walks, and there's many times where you're out there walking, you're like, I am done, but I don't want to drag this thing home like an idiot down my neighborhood. And if I don't want to leave it sitting behind this bush, and I made it out 22 and a half minutes. Heck, all right, just do it. And we decide to keep going back. And by the time we get home, we get that second burst of energy, that runner's high, that weighted vest walker's high, and we make it through and we get home, we're proud of ourselves. And that's that, like, I'm trying to paint an understanding for you that the keys to success in this business don't rely on your multifaceted charisma and how well and eloquently you can communicate, how many books you've read on sales. It truly lies in just what lives between your ears. That's where it lies, is can I make the decision to find more pain each day? Because calling strangers and getting rejected is pain. It's pain. Now, as you progress, your skin gets thicker, your rhino skin develops, and that pain starts to whittle away towards just like, a little pinprick, right? But in the beginning, it feels like a bee sting. I remember one time I was swimming in the pool with my kids, and there was a bee swimming around the pool. What are you not supposed to do with bees? Swing at them. And what do I do? Like a protective father, but I'm dumb because I was like, the bee's just looking for flowers. Well, I'm swinging the heck out of this bee. What does the bee do? Kind of disappears for a little bit. I see it, swing again. It goes boom, right between the eyes. Bro, I swear to God, my face swelled up like I was one of those cavemen in the Geico commercials, if that's the right. Like, I looked insane. Chantel came home and she's like, what happened to you? And so it's because I was swinging at the beat. Now that's what it's like early on in the business. You spend your $1,000 on leads, you swipe that card, you got all this hope and excitement. You got Phone Burner or Kixie or a CRM going, and you're like, I'm gonna do it, right? I'm gonna really do it. I'm gonna make it happen, Steven. And then you get on the phone after you convince yourself and drink enough caffeine, because we're nervous in the beginning, and we're nervous every day because we don't want rejection, we don't want pain. But then what happens? We get on the phone, and Dolores, who's like 76, lives in Oklahoma, you're like, this is a lay down, I'm gonna get it. And she answers the phone, she goes, stop calling me, and just yells and chews your butt out. And you go, oh my God, that was a bee sting to the forehead. And as you progress, though, you get better and better and better. And you go, hey, you learn objection. Hey, Dolores, hey, I'm sorry if you've been getting a bunch of calls. This just came across my desk. I'm the manager here now. And my job is just to make sure that we can close out your file or get you finally protected. So you have just 1 second. Do you live on 123 Mulberry Street? Just verifying just verifying information. You're grabbing at straws. But that's how you get better. And that's how the pain starts to disseminate and leave your existence, because you decide to get stronger. And that's not some magic savant sales skills. There's only about 5 main objections we have in this business, from I've got a policy, I need to think about it, I can't afford it, I got a policy through work, I got a policy at the bank. And as you progress, you'll learn the answers to that. The more you get on live dials, you'll learn the answers to these things. And so that's my grandstand soapbox pitch to start this call, is that just understand it's gonna suck in the beginning, it's gonna suck in the middle, and you'll have some sucky days as you get better, but the sucky days far outweigh because you got stronger, you learned the objections, you got proud of yourself, you didn't push through, you weren't the 50% that quit, and you put yourself in a position each and every day to make activity happen by showing up to work, right? Those of you that are here now showed up to work. You made a decision. This is what I want to do. This is where this is something that I see others doing. There's validation. If you're just at our convention, talk about validation. Talk about like when it was 9:07 on Thursday morning and that thing was 90% full, Stephen, I might have had all you hear the locker room chatter, the oh, so and so starting a company and so has got to do an LOA and so selling Medicare now, and like I mean, I'm just around the industry, so you hear this stuff and then you go, hold on, we have 5,000 people in a room on a Thursday morning at 9:07 in the morning. This is the finest opportunity today that I've ever seen, as fine as it was years ago when we all got going. And so that's where I cheer you on. Many of your names I don't know, from Brenda to Tara to Daniel, and I would love to meet you and spend time with you. But the reality though is that you have a choice each and every day to choose to get better and progress, or to choose to settle. And if you choose to sit and settle, that weighted vest, that weighted on that's going to plague you, and the swiping of the card and spending money on leads, it's going to feel like a weight on your ankle, and it's going to drag you down, pull you backwards until you die. So all I say is, if you're going to choose this opportunity, which I'm doing my absolute best to pitch you on it being the finest one you've ever chosen, choose to make decisions every single day to take rapid advancement forward. So
Grady, I love that, man. Dude, like, yeah, if y'all have not noticed, the reason why his hair sticks up like that is because he's on fire every day. Grady, one of the things I always tell people is, people don't fail in this business, they just quit prematurely. And
very
you
true.
said something that was so good. You said 50% of the people won't be here. And that's absolutely facts. Unfortunately, what I've realized is people go like, "How did you make it, Steve?" And I was like, "Bro, I was average at best at everything I did." The different like what Trey and I always talk about though is we can just eat shit longer than you can. That's all. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like the first year sucked and there was people that were kicking our butts. But what happened was we were like, we're just not going to quit, and we know 50% of the people are going to fail. So because those people fall out, a new 50% comes in and we naturally go to the top. And then what happens is in year two, 50% of the people fall out. And then they fall out, and then a new group comes in, and we now move to the top 25% of the company. And then in year three, 50% of people fall out, and a new group comes in, and now we naturally move to the top 10% of the company. That's how this works, right? And so, like, people go, like, how did you get to the top? We're like, we just didn't quit. That's all. We weren't
Yeah.
better than anybody else. You know what I mean? You said something that was really intriguing. You've labeled this business, and like, by the way, we had a call literally 2 weeks ago about being the greatest promoter. Like, and I think you do promotion better than anybody else. You've coined this phrase that we all use, which is hashtag best business ever, right? With your background, because you've done the MLM stuff, you started a software company, you've done all kinds of stuff, the 50% of the people that are brand new here, right? Not the ones, we're not talking to the guys that are here, that have been here for a year or two, the brand new people. Why did you coin that phrase?
I mean, being honest, it's because I've been through a lot of other businesses, right? From cleaning carpets when I was 14 to
You do
selling.
Kirby?
I didn't do, I was like my neighbor. I just cleaned carpets for him.
Got
He
it.
hired
Got it.
me
I
for
was
12
like,
hours a day and paid me $40 cash, which was, 220s. But at 14, you're like, that's a ton of money. Hindsight, he just paid me like $6 an hour. So it wasn't like, but when you're 14, this is 25 years ago. I mean, that was holy cow mold.
that was $1 million
Um,
for you.
that was a ton of money. So I saw that. Then I got into MLM, or serving tables, and did that. Then got into MLM. Then got into software, which my MLM experience taught me a ton. But at my peak, I had 30,000 people buying my products monthly in my downline, 30,000, and I was making like $7,000 a month. Now, granted, 7,000 is great. I was very happy. However, the amount of questions, the amount of leverage I had to create to earn that level of income, very volatile. Things happen. People want to try new companies. They take their groups with them, et cetera. So I got into software sales and built a software company up. Me and my partners um, built it up to $300,000 in gross revenue. It was exciting times. Money's flying in. Problem is, as I've told this story before, is like when you are the owner, you eat last. And when I have a software engineer who's used to work at, Twitter, and I had all these Amazon servers and all these affiliates to help promote the product, and then all these costs, and then you get chargebacks and then there's four owners that need to chop up the money. Well, it was three owners, and then the guy brought his wife on, so he took 25% more, and I was like, he's like, well, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess, there's three of you, and it was him and it doesn't matter. But then you eat last, and you fast forward. I mean, I'm doing 300,000 a month, over a year, and I think I was making 40, $50,000, working 100-hour weeks, doing affiliate calls, trainings, all this stuff. And then, trying to hope we get bought by Google. And then fast forward, and I find this business, and I see the Trays and the Jacks and you and our old buddy who's selling 510 a week, 510 a week, 510 a week. And I'm like, how is this even possible? We buy leads, we go meet with families that are interested in buying insurance. And for me, it was a light bulb moment, because on my MLM business, to get those 30,000 people, it was all cold intros. Proactive girl at the mall, Chili server, friends from high school, you know, family members,
Just said
anybody
proactive
who
girl.
fog, mirror foggers, dude, anyone that could fog a mirror. I'm trying to talk to them about, are you looking for an additional stream of income? Are you keep your options open about making money? Like, and I'm just trying, and perfect. We sell a healthy energy drink called Verve, sponsored by the Phoenix Suns, and, endorsed by Dr. Oz. Like, dude, I said these lines thousands of times. And some people would buy it, some people would be interested, some people would be like, ew, no. And then I just was like, well, this is my chance. This is my opportunity that I'm in to try to make money. I make myself uncomfortable. I make them a little uncomfortable, but maybe they want to buy my product. I'll make that $10. If maybe they want to build a team, and I can make a quarter if they start to build people. And that's the world I was in. I did not know you could buy interested people and sell the $83 policy and get paid $1,000 in 2 days. I didn't know. So for everyone that is fighting this business, everything else sucks but life insurance sales. And you can quote that. There's so many things that I haven't tried everything, but there's a lot of things out there that I've been around, know of, from affiliate marketing and Forex trading and, crypto we joked about a little bit ago, all these things. But from a business standpoint, and I talked many times just from my experience in restaurants, to you go spend $500,000 building out a restaurant. You spend $25,000, $30,000 paying that lease. You spend months building it out and then hiring staff and trying to hire children to be the servers and run it. And then you need to get people in there. Like, at the end of the day, I only have one sister, two parents, Uncle Larry and Aunt Judy. And when they run out of friends, referring them to Grady's Burgers and more, there's no more people to come in. So then what do I have to do? I've got to spend money flyering the cars around my restaurant. I got to run local ads, radio ads, get a guy in a chicken suit spinning a sign on the corner, pointing free appetizer. You mentioned the chicken. And that's how I'm going to bring people into my restaurant that I spent probably $1 million starting, because I love, creating pomegranate, caramelized onion burgers, right? Because I have this thing, because I think I'm a good cook, right? But the reality is I might be a good cook, but I'm not a great businessman. And if I am a good businessman, there's so many things that could go wrong in that scenario. How about we spend $1,000 on leads, call people with passion, tell them we're here to care about them, tell them we've got a license, learn about the products, learn our objections, learn to help find out what the problem is. What did you go through that made you fill out this lead form in the past couple days or weeks that's been on your heart? Because there's something that had to change recently, because for you not to have life insurance, and then all of a sudden in the past day, week, or two, look into requesting life insurance, something has happened. Someone has passed, a new life change has happened. You had a baby, someone you know has had a baby, you bought a house. It's generally life's moments happen to our clients, is why they reach out to us and through leads and want to get coverage. And so I coined the best business ever, because I never found something where you could just find people that want to buy what you have. And your job, as Sean has always taught us, is just don't screw it up. Now, granted, there's some question answering, and you got to talk to them and you got to show care, and they might price shop. So you need to boost your own credibility through your experience and outreach programs and elevating yourself as a professional. But welcome to business, right? That's fun, right? So I just need to elevate myself a little more, get a real high quality CRM, send some thank you cards. Wiley Hawkins sends flowers to every policy over $100. Digna told me she sends a $39.99 fireproof safe from Amazon to every single client that buys like a policy over 50 bucks. Now they're saying a lot of IULs, but she sends it because she's like, this is the most important thing you're going to have is your life insurance policy. God forbid something happens. Take your policies and your important documents and put them in this fireproof safe. Now, every single time her client goes to get their passports or birth certificates or life insurance or cash or whatever they keep in that fireproof safe, they think about the insurance agent for $39 from Amazon, little gift bag it for $3.99, and they put it in that blue bag around the holidays. And you know what I mean? These are the tiny things where you all get to elevate your business, elevate your professionalism, that then keeps more money in your pocket. And then what are they going to do? Probably give you referrals, et cetera. So long story short, that's where I think this is the best business ever, Stephen, because so many of the businesses pale in comparison. Now, granted, you can spend that $1 million as a restaurant owner, hire a chicken soup guy, spend the money flyering, and hope, as creative as I may be, and as funny as I could write the sign on the chicken guy, and as clever as I could be with the card stock ads, double sided with a free appetizer that you slide on all these cards surrounding the restaurant, people still might not show up because there might be a coli outbreak in arugula, or there might be, there's a whole movement against burgers right now on the news because there are too many cow farts coming out of Argentina and people are against the methane gas. And all of a sudden, my restaurant that I put $1 million in, no one wants to show up to. Or there's people don't want to go out to eat anymore because they want to DoorDash, right? Like, I mean, I'm using a restaurant example. It could be a dry cleaner. It could be a small store. It could be a hair salon. It could be a nail salon. Like, I can't control the market, right? Now I can rent and I can buy and I can put my business in a market where I hope it's going to work. Guess what? That lease is going to be more money, more foot traffic, more money. Why not just buy more leads? More leads, more money. So that's where I get so passionate about because I just believe in this business.
Grady, you said something that was so true that most people don't understand. I always find it fascinating when people go, treat this like a business. And I'm like, bro, most people have never owned a business. You're asking them to treat it like something they never had. Like, it makes no
Well
sense.
said.
But like 90% of businesses fail in year one. That's a statistics. That's facts. What I almost find fascinating is like most people in this business in what we do. Like my mom had three shoe stores, retail shoe stores, then went to wholesaling, then lost everything in 2008, right? Like lost everything, lost the business, lost the home, lost everything that year. And then she had to learn how to reinvent herself to be able to do it digitally online and be able to do FBAs and all that stuff and drop shit. But here's why I say this. If my mom broke even in year one, she was happy. Some of us don't make a sale by next week and we're ready to quit. Like that's the problem. Like
Yeah.
our expectations in business, like the barrier to entry is so low that most people can do it. But because the skin in the game ain't 300 grand for a franchising fee, $1 million for a restaurant, we go, we're good. What was crazy great, and I share this, is my mom passed away from cancer. My stepdad that ran the business with her passed away 6 months after that. I had to clean up all the books. I'm an only child. I had to clean up all the books, the accounting, and everything before, after they passed away to make sure that nothing had happened. You know what's crazy? My little life insurance license, my little tiny life insurance license, my EBITDA, my net income was more than anything they've ever made in a year. But the barrier to entry was nowhere near what theirs was. And so when you coined that phrase best business ever, that was my experience. My mom put 300 grand in each one of her stores. She put $2 million in her wholesale business just to be able to make less than what I make with a life insurance license. Like that's the beauty of our business. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I have a few questions for you, and I want to breeze through them because I think your answer is so needed on them. You said it sucks because it does. What did you do when it sucked? Like people go, oh man, the top guys never think about quitting. I'm like, dude, I think about quitting every day, right? But like, what do we do? Like, what do you do when that thought comes in? Like, how do you progress with that?
It's a phenomenal question. There's two ways I can answer it. So when I really was frustrated, I would think, what is my life if I don't make this work, right? I'm not going back to the software company. I was like, there's Van Chevrolet has been sending me emails forever up in North Scottsdale. I was like, I go sell cars. I'm for sure I could sell cars. Like I could figure that out. But like, you look at like, what is your option if you don't make this work, right? And so for a big part of me, and this is just, this is part of my stories. I started this business with three kids, and as we progressed, we had another one because my wife's the best salesman in the house. So we have four children. But like I have a heavy responsibility, right? And I think that being totally transparent to this group, I was very reckless early in my life. Like I just was cavalier. I had a great time. I was the life of the party. I was always out doing stuff. I was not a slug, but I wasn't making money. I wasn't like creating any value for myself or the world. I was just living. And that was a very selfish way to live. And so for me now, when I'm in this business, I'm completely selfless. How can I serve my staff? How can I serve my business? How can I serve the team? How can I serve the new agents? But more so, how can I serve my family? And I think that becomes a very real thing that some people need to face is like, I'm living for me. If I don't get to go to happy hour with the girls on Thursday, like I ain't doing this business. Like I've got priorities. I must golf every Friday. Like, okay, you and your stressful life living in the suburbs, you've got to golf every Thursday, every Friday. And I joke because like when it got hard, when I got this sucks, I go, I need to think of my family because that is the most important thing, right? My legacy or how my children are seeing me or any video. Like I think in some weird world, my daughter Vivian will watch this training in 37 years and go, my dad was cool, like my dad worked hard and tried hard for us. And that to me is like a deep, deep thought because yeah, we live in this massively crazy digital age where now, granted, there's a lot of Grady trainings out there. I hope you don't find, I mean, this is a good one. I love you, but what I'm trying to answer is like when it got hard, I had to think about what mattered. And that's why if you don't have something that matters to you other than just your apartment and play and paying your cell phone bill and your lease on your Honda Accord, like you got to get some shit that you're passionate about that you need that are going to wake you up and get you up at 5 in the morning to get your mind right and then be able to attack the phone 7:30, 7:45 because your future and who you're doing this for is bigger than you. Because early on, I was all about me, just my good time, sleep in till whenever, do whatever. But once I got married and was like, this is actually the real, like it's like that Wiz Khalifa quote. When I learned that the real gangster shit is not staying up late, it's getting up early. Like like your real life begins when you have something that you get to work for every day. And for me, that's my family. And so that's one aspect of it. I would just go, okay, they got to eat, dance is expensive. We got to figure that, get on the phones, keep moving. That was a very like core thought. Now a second thing is when you're in the business, a big component of it is like you're going to have down days. And my down days in the field, I would then revert it and I'd go, I believe in the company, I believe in the opportunity, and I would get on the phone, I'd call recruits. And I might, and you know what's hey, we've got top comps, great leads, free training, all these aspects, wherever you're at right now. It doesn't sound like what you've sold. Last week, I sold 7. Last month, I did 21. Today, this morning, I only wrote a small one and made 550. I'm on my 6th appointment getting one of those days. But if, and I'm selling myself to recruits. And so, but then when my recruiting was a mess and I was like, couldn't get anyone started and the team's not selling. And why am I always number one on the leaderboard? Because, am I the only one with kids, right? I think you get all these things in your head. I would go sell and I wouldn't focus on the team. And I would just have these two levers that I was always trying to advance. And that for you guys is like, as you progress, don't hold back on building if you love this, right? If you don't love this yet, then don't bring anyone in it, right? They say don't, children don't fix a broken marriage, right? If you and your spouse aren't getting along, don't bring a baby into it, right? Fix you guys and then bring a baby into it. Like, so make some sales, go, oh my God, I love this business. I made $1,700 yesterday. Hey, John, you're not going to believe what just happened. My buddy Steven told me about this new opportunity. I didn't believe it, but I've been testing. I got my license, life insurance license. It took me like a week or two. I made a sale yesterday with these leads they have, and I made like $1,700. It may or may not be for you, but you got to have a conversation with my buddy Steven. He'll tell you about it, or check out this video. It does a good job overview if you're interested. And make that a daily goal too to introduce. And you've got these two things you're working. So when it's tough, dig into your heart why you started in the first place and who you made the decision to embark on all this pain for, because it can't be you. It can't be you because you've let yourself down the majority of your life. That's why you're 41, or in my case, I was 34 and had no money. And I had my software company and I was trying, but I hadn't found results. But once I found the thing and I could go all in on it, Stephen, that's where life changed for me. I found the thing. And for me, it was insurance. I hope it's insurance for you. If it's not, then I hope you find your thing. But find your thing and just don't let it go.
I love it. You know, you were talking about the two levers, and that was going to be my next question, is the two muscles that we build. So many people in this business, they sell, 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 sell. They never actually try to recruit a team or build a team or whatever it is. I was actually having a conversation with my wife on the way to church last night, and she was like, recruiting is way easier than selling. I was like, that is absolutely false and not even anywhere close to true. Because here's proof: the amount of people that we have that are Hall of Fame producers that have no teams. If selling was easy or was harder, then it would be the exact opposite because building would be easier. It's actually the exact opposite. Selling is way easier than building a team. When you
So
talked
much
about,
easier.
you talked about exercising both of those muscles. The question that I get often, I mean, you got it too. Like people go, how did you do both at the same time? And I'm like literally scratching my head, like, what do you mean? Like it never even came across my mind to even answer that question. But like I like the way you said it, right? Like selling is one muscle, you know, building is the other. You got to work on both arms, not just one. Can you kind of talk about that? Because I think people lose that aspect. You know, the number one, I was supposed to do this at conference and I freaking forgot. I've asked so many people this. I go, Grady, if you had a regret in this business, what would it be? Every person I've talked to is, I would have recruited day one. Everyone,
Yeah.
everyone. And I'm like, so the people that are here for day one, I'm like, look, man, all of us say the same thing. Like, don't be one of us later on 3 months from now. Just start now, right? So can you kind of talk about working both those muscles, selling and building at the
Yeah.
same time?
Yeah. So the reality though is like once you if you've come from making 42 grand a year and you've never had money and you have a $7,000 deposit in a week, you're like, your hair blows up, right? You're like everything your belief system on the way the world is designed all of a sudden gets shattered because you're like, I've never seen this. I don't know anyone that makes this level. Then you do it again the next week, and then you do it again the next week, and then you have a $30,000 month, and you go, I can't even breathe to think about this new life I'm building. I don't want to screw it up. And so a lot of people just start selling and they go at it because it's a lot of it is just it's just words. It's regurgitating, it's investment in leads, right? You're at $1 million a year, you're spending 150 grand in leads. But, EBITDA, 850 cost of business. The guy in the chicken suit spinning the sign out front, he cost money too, right? The flyers I had to drop, the radio ads I had to run. And I never owned a restaurant. I just know the ways to market and business. But these are the things that that a restaurant would spend their money on to get customers in the door. And so when you think about that understanding of selling and building that, you're so like focused on you, feeding you, feeding you. But you have to have the understanding. And I tell this story. My wife's brother is her other brother, Gabe. Great guy, used to sell a
I
bunch with
remember
us.
Gabe.
Now he has a
Yeah.
baby, sells less with us. He kind of, he's floating through life. And you only choose ask so many times before he stops listening to you. So I just say, hey, how you doing? Baby's cute, and move on. Right. But he early in our business, second years, 30, 40K producer. He lived in the Bay and was riding one of those bird scooters, those little things that you take around between the restaurants and stuff in the Bay. He crashed it somehow and almost ripped his pinky off. Like, of all the weird things to do. And like he had I really bad. I think in your head you're like, I have 10 fingers, I'd like to keep 10 fingers. Right? You're going through some mental turmoil. He kind of got in his head about it. He had a bunch of surgeries he had to get. They were about to amputate like this part of his hand and just like some stuff going on. Well, when you're the only producer for your business, and you don't sell for 3, 4 weeks, your business doesn't make any money. And guess what happens in your business? Sometimes there's some returns, right? And so you're now all of a sudden you're in this place where you're going, I'm this high producer, I've been living this great life, I'm making all this money, and now I'm not making money, I'm mentally a mess, and I have negative chargebacks piling up as I'm progressing because I've sold hundreds of policies. And just part of the business is one of the most profitable things we'll talk about if we have another minute here before we wrap it up is IULs. But like, when you're selling a mortgage and whole life, there's attrition. Dolores gets called by someone else. He says he's his manager and sells them a policy that's $1 cheaper. And you didn't do a good job tying it down, sending the metal safe or sending the flowers, and they take the dollar cheaper instead of sticking with you and you get a chargeback. Welcome to business if you don't do it right. And so Gabe gets all stressed out. Long story short, digs his way out. Well, that's the reality I want you guys all to think. If you're only a producer, you are just what am I going to say, China? Cashier at Chipotle. You knew it. You're the cashier at Chipotle. You make money when people come in, right? You make money when you sell insurance, but your goal is to be the owner of hundreds of Chipotles. And I must be hungry right now, so I'm talking about Chipotle. But that's the concept that I need you guys to think about is when you have a team and you've gone out and learned and fall in love with this business and plug them into our healthy ecosystem that they get to learn from all these different people, how to sell, mindset, building tips, lead flow, all these things. And this is a higher level call. I'm not teaching you how to overcome objections, right? You want to learn how to overcome objections. A lot of incredible people how to overcome objections. I'm teaching you how to win in business. That's what the goal of this call is. I hope you're getting some value from this. And so, but if you don't put yourself in a position where you can bring on a few people who then could bring on a few people, you now are only capitalizing on the one aspect. And you can only work 24 hours as a cashier at Chipotle. You can only sell so much. There's kind of a ceiling on production. Not that it's wrong. People making 1 million, 2 million selling, God bless them. Incredible business, incredible amount of money. But God forbid something happens to you. God forbid something happens to your family and you need to step away from the business to go spend time with them. God forbid something, knock on every piece of wood. God forbid one of my children gets sick and I've got to go live at the hospital while they're recovering. Oh my, I could cry right now, right? But if I hadn't built a business where I gave everything from myself to my clients to take care of them, to make enough money, to then take everything else I had and give to my team to teach them what I'd learned and be there for them to answer questions and be a strong voice, I wouldn't have 1,000 agents today. And it's not on me. I've got the most incredible leadership, incredible friends, incredible business that's been created through but it is someone had to start it, right? And I'm the most humble guy you'll ever run across, but I'm just so grateful that that's happened. So I challenge you to think bigger, right? That's part of it. I don't mentor. He used to tell me about taxes when you're like a millionaire. And I'm like, Mark, I'm only making 42 grand a year with this stupid software company. And it wasn't stupid, it was fine. But like, what do I need to know about taxes when you're a millionaire? Like you need to learn about your future. You learn about what you want. Like, how are you going to design your life down the road when you are there? Because if you're not planning on getting there, you're never going to get there. So for you all, do you want to have $1 million year business? Do you want to have do you want to hit VP? Do you want to earn a VP bonuses? And my direct answer should be yes, because that's how you protect yourself. And the ones that you started this business for in the first place, your family, or the people that are most important to you, are the ones that you're going to protect and insulate. It's like having life insurance. Building your business and recruiting a team is like life insurance in this business. Now, granted, if I don't like the worst thing Chantel's like, I got a lot of life insurance on me. She's like, the worst thing is if you die or you get really hurt and you don't die. I'm like, well, we got that living benefits, baby. But at the same standpoint, like if you don't have a business that's paying you money, then you're one accident away from not being able to provide for your family. And that's where the true long-term value, above and beyond why you should do it and how great it is and the money and all that stuff, it's great protectionary measures, right? My initial goal was to get one override to help offset my lead cost, then cover my lead cost, then cover my staff cost. Then like, holy cow, we're making a few grand over here in overrides. I'm never stop selling. And you just start to be a good steward of your company and your business, and you can build something. And so that's really the most like important essence that I want to get across to you is build to protect yourself.
Grady, it's so crazy you say that, man, because a lot of people on this call don't know, like, the earlier guys that have been here long enough to know, but um, in 2021, when I moved to Vegas, um, I moved here because I was like, all right, man, I'm gonna sell my business to integrity and I'm gonna save money with state income tax because California state income tax sucks. And literally 2 weeks after we moved here, my mom is diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And I remember because we're at the LA Dream Center, and that's when we found out her kidneys were failing. We didn't know anything else. I flew down there for the event, went back home because my wife was pregnant at the time, and then realized that my mom was staying long term in the hospital. So I bought a one-way ticket. It's different when you buy a one-way ticket because you don't need to go back if you don't need to. and bought a one-way ticket to Burbank because that's where she was. We stayed in the hospital with her for 21 days straight. She was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer after that, and we were able to move her into proper care, do all that stuff. And I remember thinking to myself, I can't imagine. I'm an only child. I can't imagine going, Mom, I can't go to your oncology appointments or any of your doctor's appointments because I got to go run appointments in Bakersfield. And like that year, I'm just being honest. I didn't work from April till December when she had passed away, and we buried her late December. We didn't work in that business. We didn't work. We didn't show up to do much because I was taking care of my family.
Yeah.
And what was so crazy is I was lucky to be on the side where we actually did it the right way and that we never had to worry about a bill. Matter of fact, my wife was back home in Vegas trying to close on our property that was being built. And like we didn't have to worry about it because the first 2 years when we didn't think it could possibly happen to us, we actually built a team. And so like what Sean taught, us Grady early on is it's not even what if it happens to you. He said something to me that stuck out. He said, "You're one family emergency away from being financially devastated." Everybody on this call, especially if you don't have a team. You are you are one family emergency away from being financially devastated. And to be able to go like, I mean, I share the story because like my wife was there. When my mom was in hospice, the uh the hospice care was like they only work 8 hour shifts. So like there's three nurses that go through the night. And the second nurse was like, yo, we don't have anybody coming in for the third shift, and I can't stay overtime because we are not allowed to work that. And to be able to call a private nursing company and be like, I don't care how much it costs, just send someone. And they can actually send someone and you can stroke a check without even thinking about the money because it's the right thing to do for your family. That's why I built the team. And I want to share that with you guys because nobody wishes to be in that position, but it happens. We're in life insurance. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
Grady, as we wrap up, like I share this with everybody, like we we've all sold a lot of insurance. Me, you, Alondra, Josh, Hayden, Nina, everybody, Andrew, everybody, Zach, everybody. We've all shared a lot. We sold a lot of insurance. But the one type of aspect in this business that we made more than anything else was the overrides. And that's the reason why I gently wish all of you guys, like Grady's topic is make more money in 2025. That's the best way for you to do it. So, Grady, I turn it back to you, man. Let's close this up. I appreciate you. I love you as always.
Eh,
Thank you for taking
I
your time
appreciate
with
you
us,
too,
man.
bro. I love you too, guys. I think you can see what sort of a passionate leader you have. This is the way Stephen is 24/7, 365. And I'm just, grateful to be in business for you for so long and excited for the future. But for everyone out there, um, you know, it, the thought of building a team comes from a selfless approach to give and give and give and give and give and hope down the road someone does something. I've hired 10,000 people and I have 1,000 agents and 200 of them make up 80% of the volume. So you're going to give a lot and but but to but that's a business, right? That's where you're creating true through true legacy and putting yourself in a position where you're helping others. And then in turn, you're putting them in a position where you make a small micro percent of what they do and you get a bonus from their volume. That is an incredible industry. And you can go out there and sell your face off and go do it and then use that to fund your business. I never sold more than 40. Why? Because I was so focused on creating financial freedom by building a team. And all these guys sell 80, 90, 100, I cheer them on, but they're an army of one. And we're an army of thousands. And so, Stephen, I love you, brother. So good to see so much commentary. I appreciate you guys and they appreciate you, bro. And Janelle, oh man. So hey,
Hey, Daniel
happy
has a
Thursday.
question for you.
What do you
He said,
got?
when you first started, did you have a specific schedule for dial days, recruiting, etc.? How was it broken down?
Yeah, it was Mondays and Thursdays, right? Get up, you spend, it was important to me to spend every minute I could with my family in the morning, right? So I'd get up at 6 and be with the kids till they go to school, and then it was on, whether I'm dialing or I'm driving. And I do Monday, Thursday. Now it's different now. I mean, my schedule is different, but every Sunday I didn't work because that was important to me to spend, dedicated time with the family. And every Saturday I worked. Why? Because people are home and they're in good moods. They got paid on Friday nights and Saturdays. You can write 75% of your business on Friday nights and Saturdays. But most people don't want to, right? Because they want to, mull through the week. Now, granted, I'd probably be the same way. If I was dialing today, I would dial Monday through Thursday, 16 hours a day, two dialers, CRM, spend, 2,000 a week on leads, and I write 25,000 a week. And that's what I would do. If I was back then, I would take the weekend off. But if you want to do it easier, work Fridays and Saturdays, and then you don't have to work the other 5 days. But that's when society has conditioned us to want to take time off because that's when everyone else has time off. So, but main thing is just get after it, man. Get after it, guys. Steven, I love you, bro.
Grady,
Thank
I
you for
love you
being
too, man.
so humble and transparent and sharing and vulnerable because that's what this is. This is a real business. This is a real business. You built an incredible team. You've got incredible people on it. And um, you know, our goal is just to keep providing and clearing the path for you to walk down. You got to still walk down, and there's going to be rocks that we're going to have to jump over, and there's going to be a lava pit, and there might be even some crocodiles. But we'll be there with our hand held out, helping you come through them. But you got to make those decisions to go. All right, if Steven made it past the crocodiles, I can make it past the crocodiles, and let's go past them damn crocodiles and stay out of the desert and go find the Garden of Eden. So appreciate
G
you,
man,
bro.
thank you, man. I love you. And guys, if you got any value from it, please drop him a thank you when you get a chance, whether you hit him up on social media, whether you go on Facebook Messenger, whatever it is, but let him know how valuable this is. And this is the reason why he's led his team to do over 100 million. Like the amount of people that would never even reach that number, like our competitors, like second place doesn't even do 100 million. Grady does 100 million plus, plus, plus with his team alone. So as you can see, he's a phenomenal guy, great guy. Thank you, Grady, as always. And we'll see you guys back on Monday. We have Patrick Moreno, 23-year-old, riding over
Monster,
450,000 a year. And
monster.
my whole thing is like, if he can do it, why can't you? So, GP,
Amen.
thank you. Everybody have a great week. Be blessed. And as always, we will see you at the top.
Love you, bro. Bye, guys.